Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 889, and boy, what a way to close out the arc. Like, okay, yeah, as we all know, with this arc, with this episode, essentially the basically the Levely Arc has pretty much come to an end. Like, this is the last episode of the Levely Arc, and like, but even before that, I did kind of do a little research, and I just wanted to make sure, even before going to the episode, that was the case. And yeah, like I said, this episode essentially marks the final episode of the Levely Arc, and barring just a few minor details to cover, we're essentially charging full steam ahead into Wano from this point. Like, practically next episode, at least if the preview has anything to say about it. Practically next episode is when Wano starts, which judging from the trailer and judging from the trailer alone, and the preview, we're pretty much going to see a vast improvement already. I just hope that Toei does in fact deliver on what they told us about how the Lovely Arc had become a bit of a sort of a necessary sacrifice in order to make Wano look amazing. I am hoping that pretty much is still very much the case, and they stick to that, promise as much as they can. I will say one thing that does give me hope is apparently the director of film Z is going to be in charge of at least the first chunk of episodes, which is why the trailer looked pretty much amazing, and that's definitely a plus for me. But that also means that my expectations are at an all-time high right now. Like, if the director of film Z is going to be working on a good chunk of these episodes, then I expect to see some grade A top quality shit. Okay, just saying. But yeah. And pacing wise, I think it goes without saying that at its worst, it'll still be. Even if the pacing isn't great in this arc, I think we can all agree it is still going to be better than pretty much how the Levely Arc was handled. And if things remain as consistent as they have been in terms of Post-Dressrosa, I think we're going to be okay. Because I think one thing I have learned is that, of course, while a lot of the smaller arcs have been a sacrifice for Toei, where they've really shined in this post time skip. Again, Post-Dressrosa is, of course, with the larger arcs, with Whole Cake Island, and with and now very possibly with Wano. Like, with I'm very curious to see where exactly this is gonna go. Now, and actually, on that note of us getting into Wano now, one thing I want to note is, of course, the preview. With the preview, I could be wrong on this. With the preview, it kind of seems like what we're possibly going to get is possibly a little bit of backstory into Blackbeard, and I could be wrong. I'd have to reread that part, like at least the beginning of Wano, but I think we're actually going to get into Blackbeard's. I don't know if Blackbeard's backstory was ever covered in the Wano arc. So yeah, it looks like that we might be getting Blackbeard's backstory in the next episode, which if that's the case, I'm all for. Like I said, I don't know if it was in the manga or not. So, but either way, I'm excited for that. Now, of course, the other thing about this episode is that we get introduced to the shadow ruler of the world government, Imu. In the manga translations I was reading, he was called Im, but I think Imu is like the official translation. And the important thing to take away from his introduction, aside from the fact that he's so much of an influential figure that even the 5 Elder Stars just pretty much bow to him, is that he has taken an interest in Luffy. So I think that very sets up that he probably knows a lot more about those who possess the will of deed than pretty much anything than even what's been revealed. Like, I'm sure there's probably a lot more to. and again, I'm sure it all connects back to pretty much to what was said about the will of D being like being of course those who possess the will of D have the ability to in order to oppose God. But I think Emu is probably aware of what that particularly means, and by that association too, I think that also establishes a connection that he probably also knows a lot more about the Void Century. He definitely has a connection to the Void Century and knows a lot more than what's been revealed about that as well. Because I have no problem in believing that Emu has got knowledge to spare about what happened during that point in history. Like Emu, he's definitely one of those characters where we pretty much know we basically know almost bare bones of nothing about him. But at the same time, you can being like the shadow rule of the world government, you can only kind of imagine as to what this guy knows and how much he does know. Like it's kind of expected. Like it's kind of expected at this point. And so, and now let's talk about the part of the episode where we see the 5 Elder Stars asking Emu which light needs to be extinguished next and erased from the world. And as someone revisiting the material, I can't help but feel that in terms of that whole scene with the sword through the picture of Shirahoshi, I think that's meant to throw us off more than anything else. I think the one thing that the one that is actually going to be targeted is Cobra and Vivi, because as it was brought up, the Nefertari family are the only royal family that has caused consistent trouble. The Nefertari family and the Don Quixote family are the only royal families that have caused consistent trouble for. In terms of problems for pretty much for basically the entire world government as a whole. So, and the fact that they have caused a lot of consistent trouble for the world government, and honestly, just even the fact that Cobra wants to meet the 5 Elder Stars later in order to discuss the Void Century with them, it just kind of adds a lot more to this. A lot more in terms of that setup. Like I think at the end of the day, like I think Shirahoshi and Vivi I think Cobra and Vivi are going to be the ones targeted by pretty much the ones to die here. The other thing I thought about is that the target could be more than one person, and that Emu wants anyone who's connected with Luffy in order to be wiped from history, as they called it. And while that could just as easily be the case, I'm having a hard time figuring out as to how the world government would pull that off, end up pulling that off unless they ended up causing a scene. Like I don't see any way that the world government could pretty much do this without causing a scene, but then again, who knows? But like, if the Buster Call is anything to go off of, I don't think the world government has much of a problem causing a scene and making an example out of people either. So, yeah, right now those are my 2 theories I'm sticking with in terms of this whole extinguishing light. Is that either Cobra and Vivi are the targets, or basically anyone who's connected to who's connected to Luffy, or any royal family who has had a connection to Luffy up to this point. But yeah, and of course that there's the usual thing of the flashback stuff, which yeah, is just something that happened. But well, like I said, with the Levely Arc over now, I think we're past all that, and we can only look forward to absolute greatness. Like again, Wano, we're here, guys. We're all the anime onlys out there. You're pretty much here now, and as a manga reader of the content you're about to get, be prepared, because yeah, it's some pretty heavy shit in Wano, that's for sure. But Yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and list your Crunchyroll. Death and Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.